Well, good day folks, welcome back to the channel, and yeah, happy new year. I guess this is the first vlog I've put together since coming back from the UK over Christmas. It's mid-January, so it's a beautiful day today, just high up in the 30s. As you can see, it's pretty warm. So in today's vlog I just wanted to maybe share with you my personal review of my Ducati Multistrada. I've had this bike getting on for about nearly a year, so I'd say 10 months, and this bike is absolutely fantastic. There's some really good stuff about this bike that I really have gelled with it. Like I've said before, it's the 1200 L twin, or long V if you like to call it a V. It's got plenty of torque, plenty of power, but it cruises along as well. It's comfortable. The seating position is really good, even though the seat looks pretty razor sharp. It's quite comfortable over a long journey. You may have seen I've done the Great Ocean Road on this bike, so yeah, very comfortable overall. There is some stuff about it that I would like to slightly improve. I'll get onto that when I get onto the road. I'll do a bit of a road test with you guys, and you can see exactly what I mean. Just a quick trip, warm afternoon. Just give you a bit of an on-road feel for what my bike is like and how I like to ride it. Now, I'm not a fast rider by any means. The older you get, the more sensible you seem to get, and even though it's like 30 plus degrees today, you'll notice that I'm still wearing my coat. It's the Revit Summer Air Tech jacket, which is like a tea bag. It's fully perforated, so it does let the air through, but it still offers some kind of degree of protection in regards to body armour and Kevlar coating and stuff like that. So I was always taught from an early day, dress for the slide, not the ride. So I always try and do that. I've only ever not done it once, and that was years ago in the UK on an R1, and I'll tell you what, I felt like I was riding naked. I had a pair of shorts on and a singlet and a pair of runners, that was it. I wouldn't do it again. It'd have to be very extreme circumstances. So actually it's pretty good timing that this B-double sand truck's just pulled out in front of me, because I was talking earlier about buffeting. Now, I don't know whether the camera's going to pick it up, but where the truck goes past the trees, you'll see the trees move. That's the vortex of the air being sucked in behind the truck. It's very similar to what happens to this windscreen, but the only difference is the only thing behind me and that vortex is my head. So my head gets pulled around a fair bit on this bike. That's the only gripe I've got about this particular bike. Other than that, like I said, it's comfortable, it's responsive. I've just got 31,000 Ks on it now, as you can see. It's a beautiful day for a ride. So we're just going to take a bit of a local trip out. I want to try and find a couple of nice corners to get some footage on a bit later on. So we'll see how the trip goes. But like I said, I'm literally just cruising along. There's no effort into it whatsoever. Fourth gear, just sitting there. It's a 60 limit, and I am going a bit quick, sorry about that. But yeah, it's a 60 limit, so I can't go too fast, but even at fourth gear, 60 kilometers an hour, I don't need to keep changing up and down the gearbox. It's got plenty of torque there. I find if you keep the rev range around about 3,000 RPMs, it's very responsive in where you need it. And pretty much every single review that I've looked at with regards to the Ducati say the same thing. Keep it up around about 3,500 revs, that's where it's happy, and then you can rev it right the way around. So anyway, we just hit the 100k zone, so I can open up a little bit again now. So just, yeah, fourth gear, straight onto it, not change gears, just sitting on 100 kilometers an hour. A little bit of gap between me and the truck. Absolutely effortless to ride. Just a little bit of pressure on the left bar, tips it straight into the corner. Don't don't even have to think about it. The only thing you have to watch out for in Victoria is our fantastic government and our wonderful potholes that they seem to grow on the roads. But yeah, so again, like, I'm literally just up a gear. I've still got one more to go. I've got a truck in front of me, so I can't go too crazy. But the vortex effect's not too bad. If I get a bit closer to that truck, it will certainly pick up. I was saying earlier, I don't know whether the camera will pick it up, but the mirrors. I can see clearly in the mirror what's behind me without my elbows. So that's another big plus for me. I really like that on this bike. You don't have to keep dropping your elbows and pulling your elbows in every 30 seconds when you're checking your mirrors and stuff like that. What else? Oh, the drive, the final drive, I just had redone by O'Donnell Motorcycles. I had the chain and sprockets done, and that made a hell of a difference. Like, chalk and cheese. I think on the video you say you don't realise how bad something gets until you actually get it fixed. And yeah, it's so smooth now. Suspension's great. Oh, truck's going, that's good. Yeah, so the suspension's great for me. I'm a heavier sort of bloke, so everyone has to get their suspension set up for them individually. I was lucky, I didn't really need to touch the suspension too much. It was good to go as it was. It's been a while since I've been down this road, so I'm just watching out for any new potholes that I can't see on the corners. Not too bad a road. It's a pretty good road actually. Yeah, so the suspension's pretty good for me. I like it, but I'm used to it now. As I say, when I first got on it after getting off the Harley, it was like riding an armchair. I didn't really feel much feedback through the road at all because I was so used to the hard ride of the Harley with the dyno. The suspension on this was absolutely phenomenal. All I had to do was just crank it up a little bit on the preload just for my my super dad bod. I'm the wrong side of 100 kilos at the moment, so a couple of cranks on the rebound and she was good. Nice and smooth. I've always had steering dampeners before on my bikes, but this just doesn't need it. Yeah, I'm just overall really happy with the bike. Like I say, it's comfortable. It's a kind of a cross between a tourer and a sports bike, so obviously the adventure bike side of things back in 2011 isn't what it is today. I mean, today you're looking at twice the technology on this thing that I've got. I won't overtake on double solid white lines, so I'll just sit behind this Subaru for a bit. But yeah, so the technology on the new ones is really good. Like I said in the introduction, this particular bike doesn't have the electronic suspension, which is kind of 50-50 for me. I like that idea because it's old school and it's what I understand, but I dislike it because it's easy to adjust on the screen. You just tap a couple of buttons and it does it all for you on the fly. But realistically, in a real world that I live in at the moment, do I really need that? No. I just ride how I ride. My weight doesn't change. The only time I might crank the suspension a little bit is if I've got some luggage on it, which is rare. But I have had some stuff in the top box before, which I've cranked the suspension just a notch, and it's not really noticeable. But no, I don't need the electronic suspension, and to be honest with you, it's just something else that can go wrong. And I'm a firm believer, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I don't play with it, and it doesn't play with me. That's it for suspension. I can't really say much more about suspension because I don't know a great deal about it, to be honest. It just goes up and down and absorbs the bumps, that's all I know. But like I said, this is smooth enough for me and it's responsive enough for me. It does what I want. So comfort, ergonomics. Yeah, what can I say about the ergonomics on this bike? It is without a doubt the most comfortable bike I have ever ridden. Now, I haven't ridden a BMW GS or anything like that, so I can't compare. I'm only comparing it with what I know. And I'll tell you now, this bike for me, it was almost like it was designed for it. It was almost like it was built for me. The handlebars are just the right height. I get no wrist ache, no shoulder ache, no pain between the shoulders. I don't get backache. In all due respect, my arse is fine too. It doesn't ache when I'm riding. You know, some of the longer rides, it's always nice to get off and stretch your legs. Of course it is. but do you know what? It's so comfortable. I can't fold it, I really can't. The bar's a perfect position for me. I've had to do nothing to it whatsoever. Engine wise, it's got everything I need. It's going to be a far quicker bike than what I can ever ride. And to be honest, what's legal on the road, you'll lose your license on this pretty damn quick, to be honest with you. Let's get around this Subaru. So yeah, you'd lose your license pretty damn quick on this bike if you could. It's just like any other bike, the power to ratio on the weight is amazing. Like, you just don't know how quick you can go, and that acceleration there was nothing. It was literally just cruising on open the gas. There was no effort into it whatsoever. If I'd wanted to crank it a couple of drops, a couple of gears and give it some go, it would have gone. But there's just no point. Like I say, you'll lose your license pretty quickly. And I'm the sort of person that come around the corner and highway patrol will be sitting there with their laser gun out, and that'll be me. So I'm always careful about my speed. Sometimes you get a little bit, you know, over the top, but it's nothing excessive. And if I do go over the top, it's usually just a little bit of a silly mistake. But anyway. Oh, back to 80 again, like I was saying. Yeah, so that must have dropped the speed limits on this road recently. Yeah, so the motor's got plenty of torque, plenty of power. It's a Ducati, so they sound a little bit Ducati-ish, but at least it's not a Panigale, and it's not got a dry clutch, and it sounds like it's going to fall apart when you pull the clutch in and come to a standstill. Yeah, it's not quite that bad. But, yeah, again, I can't fault it. I think it's a really good bike to ride, like power-wise. Yeah, the exhaust. Okay, so the exhaust. Alright, so on these particular bikes there is a catalytic converter. Now the catalytic converter has got like a soundproof EPA flap in there. I think it's mainly for Californian law or European law. I don't think it really applies here in Australia. But there's a flap in there that can get stuck. And when it gets stuck, it usually gets stuck closed. So when it gets stuck closed, obviously the gases can't escape through the exhaust as quick as they should be, and it restricts the flow of the motor. So if you do get one of these, the first thing you need to have a look at is to make sure that the flapper valve is working in the exhaust. If the flapper valve isn't working, it's a pretty expensive exercise to get it fixed, because it's not just a case of disconnecting the throttle cable and everything else that goes with it. It's actually a case of having to get like a flapper valve eliminator, and there's all sorts of expenses associated with that. And it's actually a bit of a pain in the arse to fit. Everything Ducati's a pain in the arse, okay? Like that's the number one tip of the day. If you take anything from today, maintenance on a Ducati is just, yeah, it's just a pain in the arse. It's the only way to describe maintenance for a Ducati. That's why servicing on these bikes is so expensive. The problem being is that everything's so hard to get to, because the position of the engine, the actual bike is built around the engine, and the engine forms part of the stability of the bike frame. So in order to get to anything, you're looking at a bit of a pain, and that's why the bike dealers charge so much for servicing. But anyway, getting back to the exhaust. So the catalytic converter on them is actually pretty good. It's not too restrictive. Some people take it off and put a straight through exhaust pipe on, but that's just too damn loud in my opinion. And there's no point being obnoxious, you know. Yeah, be heard. Loud pipes save lives and all that, I understand that. But don't be obnoxious with it. My bike, I've actually had the catalytic converter modified. So it's still, I guess, in the realms of originality. The catalytic converter is still there, and obviously it's still legal, but in terms of the flapper valve and stuff, that's all been disabled. So there's no flapper valve in there that going to restrict the motor or anything like that. So these are some of the corners I was going to take a bit of a look at with regards to doing a bit of filming around this area. I'm just having a look at the road, because there's a few trucks that have come down here and it is a little bit rippled. It used to be 100 limit down here, but it looks like it's been dropped to 80 for some reason. which is a bit of a shame because it's actually a good road. Apart from some of these ripples that are in it. Yeah, there's a big one right there. Oh, that's a little bit off camber as well. Anyway. So this is where I was actually thinking about just doing a little bit camera work in the corners and popping the drone up in the air as well, because there's a nice clear paddock right next to me. So it should make for some pretty good footage. It's usually a pretty quiet road too, so won't be too much going on. Yeah, but like I say, anyway, getting back to the bike review, like, oh, of course, that's a big hole. Yeah, so getting back to the bike review, if you're thinking about getting one of these, they're actually pretty good on price now too. You can pick one up fairly cheap. They're usually somewhere in the region of, I don't know, 12 to 15 grand, depending if you get what you get and how many Ks it's got on it, what the service history is like, stuff like that. It's pretty reasonable for a lot of bike, but you just got to be prepared. Oh, grass clippings, that's dangerous. Fucking hell. Oh, bad language. Yeah, they're slippery as fuck. If anyone's not ridden in Australia, or anyone's watching from overseas, watching this clip, those grass clippings can be really dangerous, especially on a corner like that. Yeah, so as I was saying, like, you can get a really good bike. You just got to be prepared to put a bit of time and effort into it. It's not going to be a new bike, so it's going to have some quirks. And you've just got to be prepared for those little things, I guess. Me, doesn't worry me. I love this bike, and I will be prepared to put a lot of time and effort into it. And I don't ever see myself selling it anytime soon, purely because I just love it so much. It's got everything I want. Oh, I don't know, maybe Ducati should be patting me on the back for this. I've not really said anything bad about it at all, have I? Anyway, I might shut the old yap up for a bit and go for a bit of a squirt. I do tend to yabber on a little bit. I'm sorry about that, but what can I tell you? What a beautiful afternoon for a ride. I've been at work this morning, finished work, got home nice and early because I started early. So I thought, oh, I'll get out and have a bit of a go this afternoon and just go for a quick little squirt through my local lanes. And I thought, why not? I might as well do this review while I'm here, eh? So here we are. Poowong. For those who don't know the area, Poowong's a little town on the way down to Curramborough through the backroads. And I'm not quite sure how they poo here, but it's obviously the wrong way. Here you go, it's my dad joke for the day. But there we go. So I've got to slow down, nice country town. Don't want to piss off the locals because it's such a good road. Don't want the attention. There we go, do the right thing. But look at the views, guys, like, amazing. Just open paddocks, sculpture and scenic lookout. So there's a sculpture park down there somewhere. There you go. I didn't know that. I'm not really into sculptures, but I might go and have a look at the scenic lookout. Well, you've got to hand it to them, that is a bit of a lookout. That is quite a nice little site, that. Let's see if we can improve it slightly. There we go. into it. Hopefully you've enjoyed the vlog. Like I say, it's just my personal opinion on the bike. I've said I owned it for about 9 months now, so kind of getting a bit used to it. I'm still not the fastest rider in the world, but I don't think I ever will be. I will probably do a review very shortly of a different bike, my Harley Davidson, to be perfectly fair. Probably won't be quite as long as this video. There's not much to report on a Harley. A Harley's a Harley. So I'll just give you my personal opinion on it. That's it, guys. So I'll sign off about here, and I hope you enjoyed the review of the Ducati. I will catch you on the next ride that I do. All the best. Take care. Ride safe. And then always embrace the journey. If you do like this video, please give me a like and subscribe. It helps me build my audience and grow my channel. Like I say, I'm not interested in making money. It's all purely because I do it out of enjoyment. Alright guys, catch you on the next one. Stay safe, ride safe. See ya.